Ms. Matson, if you'd like to open up general public comment for us, please.
Yes, thank you, President Corsand. We have 0 general public comment cards for in-person public comment, and we also have 0 in-person multiple agenda item comment cards. So we'll proceed to the Zoom platform. We have 6 speakers on the Zoom platform for general public comment. Caller Audit LA, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good morning. I'm here about the planters and everything else going on, but the Church of Scientology, the Cult of Scientology, they are actually trying to convince the city that they need to have these ADA non-compliant planters surrounding their compound because like a horde of crazy criminals is there harassing and threatening their church. Mind you, yes, they have been under protest, but not one conviction of any crime. Harassment's a crime. No convictions, no nothing, no restraining orders, right? Because if somebody's harassing you, you could get a restraining order. None of that has happened. It's just all nonsense. And they're trying to besmirch the character of people who are advocating for the ADA community and for the survivors of who have been abused by the Cult of Scientology, who grew up there as children who don't have a voice at times, and we are their voice. So I am asking you to please be mindful of them. They are, if they even use high-powered attorneys to try to project the nonsense, it's nonsense. Thank you.
Caller Mona M, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Good morning, commissioners. It's me again, Mona. And I too want to talk about the planters. And I see through the CPRAs that there is movement ahead, that there have been fines and citations against the city, state, and federal codes. And I'm very excited about that. I'm excited to see a resolution, and I bet you are too, wanting us to go away. I promised. We've all become kind of besties and family. That I'll still continue to come to your meetings and talk with you afterwards. I won't leave you hanging, but definitely ready for a resolution. Thank you, and I yield back my time.
Thank you. Caller Yvonne, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Thank you. Yes, on the planters, get rid of them. Number 2, your minutes are getting better, but you could take a lesson on how to do them even better by looking at the Disability Commission. Their minutes are appropriate, and they can do it. I think you can too. And that is to include the public speakers and their names and the topics they are concerned about. Number 3, the area of your tolerance of a gang operating in Los Angeles, also known as Scientology, is deplorable. Please apply the same prudence you would with a gang holding a street event. You would send inspectors during the event. It's an additional charge to send an on-the-day event inspector, but please do it. They are in violation of what they are permitted for.
Caller Gigi's phone, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yes, so first I want to say it's kind of frustrating that 4 commissioners are always on time. 2 of them are early, really early all the time. And then there's another one that is always late whenever I'm looking at the Zoom and waiting for the meeting to start. But besides that frustration, do you know what's even more frustrating? That the planners are still there. It's been several months, and I'm going to be realistic. You guys are trying to do something. I do not blame anyone on this commission because there's other people that are stopping it, in my opinion. But the planners should be gone by now, and this is ridiculous. It should not be this really huge task. It should be something that you should be able to just snap your fingers and it's done. It should be instantaneous. It's not that big of a deal, yet it's a huge deal. Please get rid of these planners. It's been way too long. Thank you.
Thank you. Caller Jill, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to continue on that thread of the planters. All you have to do is get a truck there this afternoon and remove them. Doesn't make sense. You're listening to a group of people that are considered occults in other countries, and they're taking advantage of you just like they took advantage of the IRS. Don't be bullied. Just get rid of them. And if they bother you, you can get an attorney and go after them too. Like people have gotten restraining orders overturned from that. The Scientology people have gone after them because they're protesting. And if they go after you, you should get some representation from the city so that they can be gone after. Bye.
Thank you. Caller George Casares, you have 1 minute. Go ahead.
I just want to say I'm still waiting on a report from the deputy. As of yesterday, I made a crime report. This board listens to law, and so do I, and law is what governs us all. LAMC 62.169 expressly states, no person shall plant, remove, destroy, cut, prune, or deface, or in any manner injure any tree, shrub, or plant in any street in the city without first obtaining a permit to do so from the board. That has not happened with Scientology for anything, anywhere around their blue building compound, period. Point blank, they are violating the law. Hold them accountable. I want that report. I require it. Obey the law. This board is bound by the law, so is Scientology. It's a very, very simple task you have to execute. It is your job, and if you don't, you are also liable to lawsuit, acting under the color of law as individuals. You understand that? LAMC 62.169. I've said it before, I'll say it again. They are bound by the law, so are you, so are we. Hold them accountable to it.
Thank you. That's time. President Corsan, that's all of our speakers for general public comment today. We've got 2 speakers on the Zoom platform for multiple item agenda comment.
Thank you. With that, we'll close general public comment, proceed to multiple agenda item public comment.
Caller Audit LA, you have 3 minutes. Go ahead.
Yes, thank you. The first one I want to talk about when you're talking about sidewalks and encroachments, that is just a reminder that, you know, there has the people that are under you, the Bureau of Street Services, they have to do a better job at and this is going to go for number 2 as well, the revocable permits. You know, they have to do a better job of knowing what they're dealing with, knowing who they're dealing with, and also fair play. I remember a couple months ago, a gentleman, they were brought in because they had non-ADA compliant planters, and they were fined by the city. He was like forced to go and do what he had to do to get the proper permits. And in the situation we've been bringing here for all these months since June, I know, and I
stay on topic.
I am, ma'am. I am. That's what I'm trying to make a comparison. Okay. That it has to be fair. Okay. Because you can't treat like this revocable permit. I want to know, I'm curious how they got here. Is it that they went on their own and just did it because it's the right thing to do, unlike what Scientology is doing and just forcing, you know, you to do it? Or, you know, or did the city have to kind of intervene and try to force them to do it, and they had enough sense to actually go, you know, and do it, unlike Scientology at this point. And then beyond that, okay, once you're doing this process, what about afterwards? You know, like, are they going to maintain the sidewalk? Are they going to maintain the encroachments? Are they going to do it the proper way? And so I guess I just have a lack of faith. And I know you're the commission. You're not doing the day-to-day, all that. I get it. It's the Bureau of Street Services, Bureau of Engineering. But all I'm asking is for oversight, just to make sure that as you are, you know, taking care, like, I just don't want what's happening in our situation with the cult of Scientology to happen again for another group of people, because it's not fair to the ADA community to have to suffer for months and months and months and months. Because there's an entity that doesn't give a rip about the disabled, but also because the city's just kind of slow and, you know, and not moving quick enough, or not really looking and not doing what they need to do. Okay, and as far as sanitation, again, I would suggest anything dealing with sanitation to give them the go-ahead to remove planters that are not ADA compliant, because that is, that are in the
Please stay on
encroachment.
topic. That's
I
not
am, ma'am,
related
I
to
am.
number
It's,
3.
it's sanitation, right? You know, so what I'm trying to say is to give, I'm asking the commission to arm the Department of Sanitation to remove the trash, right? Because that's what they do. And anything left on the encroachment, okay, is garbage. It's trash. You know, and it should be able to be removed by the city. And, you know, or by people, like, I should be able to go there and
Thank you.
remove
That's
those
time.
planters.
Caller Yvonne, you have 3 minutes. You mentioned you'd like to speak on items 1, 2, and 4. Go ahead.
Yes, I'm sorry. It's 1, 2, and 3. Number 1, the transit enhancements. I'm all for getting rid of old, ugly bus benches. However, my concern is that you're turning around what was a great effort by Lady Bird Johnson to get rid of all the billboards in town or along the freeways, and all this excess focus on advertising is going to be an eyesore. The other thing I want to talk about on the bus stops is that some of the new bus stops have like 3 pillars to sit on, and those pillars are not at a height for somebody that is, an example, 5'10", that has a bad hip, and once you sit down, it's difficult to get up, and without any armrests like you would have on a typical bench or the back of a bench, it's difficult to get up. It's not everybody's in a wheelchair. We have different levels of ability. Number 2, no, do not allow any marcation of the street. We have seen on L. Ron Hubbard, the naming of the street, the police department, and all the way from the new cop to the senior cops told the public that that street was owned by Scientology. Do not allow the college, as wonderful as they are, to have the same opportunity to claim ownership of the street. Don't allow it in any place in the city. Number 3, yes, on this issue, it's almost finished. I'm disheartened that there isn't a calculation on the cost of the future maintenance and operations of that catchment system. The other thing is, I believe that, again, this is a macro example. There should be a micro example so that homeowners could do a similar thing and capture some of the water that runs down the curbs in order to water their own trees and their own lawns. Thank you.
We'll go back to multiple agenda public comment. We have in the room William Guide.
Before you take the comment, did you close the?
We'll close neighborhood council public comment. Thank you.
So it's William.
Good. Thank you.
So
Which items did you want to speak on?
I want to speak on.
Okay, go ahead.
So I'm a resident of Holland. This morning I walked to go get a coffee before I came here. As I was walking down Sunset Boulevard, I saw nothing but mess everywhere, garbage everywhere. It's been going on for weeks, months, honestly, years. And I documented all this. And of course, I sent it to my council member, and nothing's ever done about it. And I have a feeling that a lot of this is because sanitation is underfunded. And we know it's been underfunded. According to the city LA controller, we reduced sanitation by $15.1 million in the last budget. We reduced street services by $21.4 million in the last budget. We've reduced public works.
Which item are you speaking on right now? But you have to speak to specific.
3. Does that work for you?
Please keep your comments restricted to that topic, which is a specific memorandum of agreement or understanding.
I'm doing public comment. which I will talk about whenever.
General public comment has closed. I'm sorry. You're on a multiple agenda public comment. You can speak on any of the agenda items, but restrict your comments to those agenda items.
Sanitation isn't,
There is a sanitation agreement, but it is relating to the Caballero Creek project. So your comments would relate to that agreement or that project.
so there's nothing in here that would relate to, say, like garbage on the street. Public Works won't address. There's no public comment
I'm
about
sorry, you're off topic.
garbage everywhere in Holland.
Please,
That's not part of public comment.
I'm
sir, this is your one warning.
Here's what I will say. I have all your names. I'm going to hold all of you accountable. You guys have a good day. You're going to learn about it.
Great. We'll move on to RPF auditing session.
All right. All right. Good morning, Commissioner. Start with item number 1 is about the sidewalk and transit amenity program. So for this one, I want to continue my comments a week ago because I'm having a huge concern about wheelchair users on the sidewalk and on the paratransit amenities. Number 1, the sidewalk, like I mentioned, not every wheelchair user have the luxury to have a companion. So if I'm not with my friend, I mean, when she was rolling herself on the sidewalk, you have all sort of different bump. She will fall, and then she will get hurt. She will end up in the hospital. For the transit amenities, that there are numerous locations in the city of LA. They're either their elevator was out of service. For example, the Cal City LA bus station. They are every, let's just say 5 or 6 times per year is always elevator out of service. What can the wheelchair using that get to the train upstairs? Impossible. Number 2, let's talk about the public right-of-way on the Occidental College. First of all, the Occidental College, I went there numerous times because that's the location for the probation board meeting. So that's why I'm familiar with that. But let's say about 3 or 4 weeks ago, that location was occupied by the volunteer minister. So that was all of the public right-of-way are occupied. The bus cannot unload me right there, and then I cannot get on the bus stop on the Occidental College because the overwhelming amount of volunteer minister occupied there. But I want to make sure we have to protect the public right-of-way, not only in Occidental College, but in everywhere in the city of LA. Item number 3 is about Bureau of Sanitation. Yes, Bureau of Sanitation. Again, my comments is why Public Works Bureau of Sanitation auditing session is too expensive. That it makes every member impossible to get to level 8 of the auditing session. So I want to make sure the Bureau of Sanitation lower their price.
Please keep your comments to the item, agenda item number 3.
In the Bureau of Sanitation, and then everyone else should have an equal access to the auditing session. And then most important, Bureau of Sanitation, let's clean the street, clean the trash, clean the urine and the feces.
Thank you. That's all your time for today.
Thank you. And with that, we'll close the multiple agenda item public comment for today's meeting.